Hello Malaysia, this is Airtime with Ronney Klassen. Deadline 17 November 2017, and welcome to yet another segment with me. The 14th general election is fast approaching, and make no mistake, it's poised to unveil the toughest election with the most number of political parties contesting in the political history in Sabah. When is the elusive date of GE14? That's the question most Malaysians from all walks of life have been asking. And the answer, within the next 180 days and counting, according to Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Zahid Hamidi 5 days ago. In the 13th general election, the opposition in Sabah created an impressive impact, winning 12 state and 3 parliamentary seats in Sabah. 4.5 years today, the opposition are only left with 7 state seats, while the parliamentary seats remain status quo. Yet, not all is well within the opposition. Can the opposition repeat their impressive impact in the 13th general election in the coming 14 GE? Will they do better? Or will they just disintegrate? Who's leading the opposition pack? 11 opposition parties in Sabah, and none as an answer. With me this morning to talk about the political ambience in Sabah is the president of newly formed Parti Kerjasama Anak Negeri, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Henrinus Amin, as well as the elected state assemblyman for Kepahyang, Yang Berhormat Dr. Edwin Bossi. Welcome to the show, Datuk. Welcome, Maybe. First off, allow me to convey my sincere thanks to both of you in agreeing to being my guest in the interview this morning. Datuk, yes. Now, you have been a very, very senior member, all right, of Parti Bersatu Sabah, or PBS.
That's correct.
Yeah, right. Dating back since 1986. Okay. You were also a member of Parliament for Kinabalu, all right. Yes. Currently, now of course known as Ranau, all right, in 1995.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you decided to leave the party on the 29th of April this year.
That's correct.
Right, after spending almost 30 years with the party. That's a very long time.
More than
40 years. Yeah. Right. Now, you were the Secretary General of PBS.
That's correct.
However, you are now the president, all right, of a newly formed party known as Parti Kerjasama Anak Negeri, or Anak Negeri in short.
Yes, yes,
okay.
that's correct.
Right. Now, that's the most eye-catching statement that you have made very recently.
Okay.
Actually, to be exact, on the 1st of May this year,
Yes.
right, was, I quote, right, to create a new political platform to pursue the original vision that PBS started 30 years ago. All right. Now, tell us, Datuk, what do you mean by this statement of yours?
Okay, thank you, Ronney, for inviting us to meet you and to be able to speak to you about our party. Now, and thank you for the question. Yes, what you said about me leaving the Parti Bersatu Sabah, I think on the 29th of April. That is correct. And you quoted me about creating a new platform. That is also correct. And I would like to qualify that. See, when I decided to leave PBS, it was quite obvious that I was disappointed what is going on inside the party. Okay. And because as a PBS strongman, we remember what is our vision, what is our mission, what is our objective goals. And basically I'm feeling that PBS no longer fulfill that vision, especially under a new leadership, which is Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Panglima Dr. Maximus Mukini. As you remember, I challenged him for the leadership of Deputy President in, I think, in 2013.
Yes.
And I lost the election. And there are questions about why did I challenge a federal minister, a serving federal minister? Basically, I challenged him because of policy differences. There are things that I wanted PBS to do, which him and a few of his friends are not agreeable. So, in order to determine the future direction of the party, I felt that I need to challenge this man. Whether I win or I lose, I'll challenge him.
You were making a point.
Yes, I was making a point. And that is correct, Ronney. Yes, I was trying to make a point. I wanted to retreat from politics. As you remember, I became the president of the Mamagun National Congress and NGO.
It's a prerequisite that you are not allowed to hold any political position to become the president.
Yes. And it took me a long time to accept it, but eventually I accepted it. But after a while, as I began to look into the political scenario nationally and locally, I began to see that there are things not right. Not right. And you are correct. There are already so many political parties, and it was under my consideration. I was fully aware about that. So we consulted a few friends, and we talked about it, about the future, what we can do. We tried to see every political parties, but we have decided that it is better for us to form a new political party within the framework of the NMP. That was our decision. Now, just to let you know, Ronney, that I didn't start a party this year. In 2014, 2015, I met Dr. Jeffrey Keting, basically telling him that it is better for him and the rest of the Kedasan leadership to form a new party, to consolidate the Mamagun politicians under one common umbrella. I met him twice at that time, and he was agreeable. I mean, to his credit. I met Daryl Lacking also. I remember meeting him, and I proposed something to him, and then he was agreeable. So it's not something that people don't want to do about this unity talk. Then I met Yang Berhormat Dr. Ibn Rossi. I think we spent about 4 hours in my house. We discussed about the past history, and then our problems facing, and then the way forward. What are the things that we can do? And to his credit also, he shared with me the problem among the Kedasan and then I met my journal. I met him also, and he was quite agreeable. So basically, I met many opposition leaders at the time, except I didn't have a chance to meet Dr. Mbori. Now, to cut the story short, I just want to advise the point that I didn't form the political party at the spur of the moment.
Well considered.
It was well considered, it was well planned, it was well thought about. And the reason that I did not join an existing opposition political parties, because I have my own reservation. One, about the political party's struggle itself. Second, the leadership. Third, the methods. If I can agree on the three things, it's very difficult for me to join them. So I have to create my own framework. I want to go back to the platform that I'm talking about. You see, when PBS, we at PBS, the original intention of PBS is to restore rights. And one of my achievements as the Secretary General of PBS was actually to make sure that the federal government formed the RCI on illegal immigration. See, Tan Sri Pairan was the chairman, or the PN chairman for Sabah. And I'm actually his secretary of that committee. And I worked hard to create that. It was me who went around asking all the other PN political parties to build that consensus. And I remember meeting even the chief minister, together with me and Johnson T, YB Johnson T, and then YB President. Yes. We met the chief minister, tried to convince him of the need of the RCI. And eventually the RCI was met. So, but by 2013, I think the disappointment started to set in. Now I have to come to terms with reality that it's not going to happen. And
The RCI.
The RCI happened, but after the hearing, and I think the evidence is quite clear. I mean, you can just read the report. No matter how, they have already, I think they just give some little facts there. But even then, it is enough to convince me that there exists this problem. So I was expecting the federal government to act on it, but they did not. But my disappointment is PBS, because PBS seems to have lost steam. They are not going to persuade.
Why is that?
They are barking, but they are not biting. So I wanted PBS to bite. Because remember, in 2012, Tan Sri Pairan says, do it before 2012.
Right.
So it was a thinly veiled ultimatum. But then nothing happened. So to us, we must continue this struggle. And if I were to fight, to continue to fight to resolve this PTI problem and also this IC problem, it cannot be done under PBS.
You need a different platform.
I need a different platform where I'm free to speak. Okay? And not only that, PBS only have about 13 seats. And I said, what can you do with 13 seats? I want a platform where I can contest enough seats to form the government. So we are not here just to fill in the blanks. We try. I mean, I would like to reserve my comment whether we can win or not. But our vision is to be able to form the government. Perhaps with our friends. But something that we need to work on. How we do it is secondary. But our objective is to form the next government and to be able to fulfill our vision.
And today, I'm so excited by Anak Negeri because they even say we want to embrace the Chinese into Anak Negeri. And I get excited about it because that's exactly that I'm looking for. How to unite our people in Sabah.
I'd like to interject about that concept in Anak Negeri because we started it. On the 8th of July, we have a Tinawal declaration in Kudat, where we have invited the Bajau Suluk, the Chinese, and myself representing the Mongool. So under that declaration, we have adopted the Chinese as an enemy. You know, when I registered my party, the first question they asked, a rejection, was that they cannot register an negeri because I'm accepting Chinese. And I had to fight tooth and nail with Ross to get this done because I refused to back down. And I threatened them that I would go to court all the way to include the Chinese. I said, my definition of anak negeri is those who are born here. They have to be anak negeri Sabah. They may not be orang asal, no? But they are anak negeri. So I said, now in the Tinawal Declaration, I have declared that the Bajau Suluk in the Pesisir Pantai, by the shores in the islands, who are citizens of Malaysia, are my brothers and sisters. And the Chinese who came, you know, when from China as refugees, they come down to Kudat, you know, to escape the problem there. I said, I welcome you now, and I accept you as my saudara angkat. You are now my adopted anak negeri, because you have adopted this country, this land as your land. So we have declared, I think under the anak negeri declaration, but the Chinese who made this their home is anak negeri.
Tujuan kami di sini sebenarnya adalah untuk memperkasakan perpaduan anak negeri. Orang Cina kami mau terima mereka sebagai saudara angkat kami pada hari ini. Supaya mereka boleh menjadi anggota parti kerjasama anak negeri. Okay, ya. Jadi simbolik sekarang kami hanya makan sedikit lah. Okay. Kelapa adalah hasil utama di Kudat. Ini adalah juga simbolik untuk kami minum air kelapa bersama-sama sebagai tanda persaudaraan kami. Di mana pada hari ini saya mewakili Memogun dalam parti ini menerima suku Tionghoa diwakili oleh saudara Li sebagai saudara angkat kami dalam anak negeri mulai pada saat ini. Dan saya juga mengisytiharkan bahwa kami Memogun bersaudara dengan suku Bajau Suluk yang berasal daripada Sabah ini di Kepulauan Pesisir Pantai diwakili oleh saudara Zainal. Jadi persaudaraan kami ini di antara Memogun, Bajau Suluk dan juga Cina dimeteraikan dengan kami makan pau bersama, minum air kelapa bersama, menandakan bahwa kami lahir di Sabah sama-sama, kami cari makan di Sabah sama-sama, kami akan mati di Sabah sama-sama, kami akan membangun Sabah sama-sama, kami akan mempertahan Sabah dengan nyawa kami juga sama-sama sebagai anak negeri. Jadi sekarang kami minum tanda memeteraikan persaudaraan kami. Okay. Terima kasih.
Orang asal is a different concept. But anak negeri is a political term. Constitutionally, they are not. But in political terms,
They are.
they are. So our fight in anak negeri includes the Memogun, the Kerajaan Sumurut, plus the Bajau Suluk, the Malays, who are anak negeri, plus the Chinese, who are born in Sabah and Sarawak, by the way.
Anak Negeri has now joined the bandwagon, all right, of an overly crowded opposition group. Okay? And some of them come with very, very big names. Okay. Now, 11 opposition parties in Sabah having similar objectives, probably, all right, yet disagreeable in seat arrangement. Okay. Where and how does Anak Negeri fit into this equation?
Thank you, Ronney. That's a very pertinent question. Okay. You see, when I considered about creating Parti Anak Negeri, already when I left PBS, of course, deep down in my heart, I want to be in the opposition. Okay. But then I have to choose between which opposition parties. But there are three things that I must consider. I must consider the political party itself. Second, I must consider what is their, of course, the party's objectives, right? Second, I must consider who are the leaders. And third, I must consider the strategy. You see, when you talk about all the parties may have the same objective, of course they are. Everybody wants to do about the same thing. But saying the right thing doesn't mean doing the right thing. Because there are political parties, they are saying the right thing, but first, the person itself is not right. Second, their strategies are not right. So if we are not convinced about that person, we are not convinced about their methods, we can't do that.
You appear to have someone in mind when you say that person. Who is this that person?
I want to be very specific. Basically, I'm talking about the other alternative parties. You see, you only have about Warisan. You have Gabungan Sabah, then you have BCS. Okay? And,
Local base.
Local base. Yeah, I'm talking about local base because that's where the heart is. So, I've considered, and these are all my friends. These are known to me personally. They are my friends. I interact with them. I talk with them. And but at the end of the day, I've spent about 30 years in PBS. I went through various stages from Ketua Cawangan to Ketua Bahagian to Ketua Penerangan to Sirsa Agung, and I was the political secretary to Datuk at one time. I was the political secretary to Tan Sri Joseph Byron, the chief minister. In fact, I was the chief political secretary. So I've been an MP myself, and then I served briefly with Dr. Matt as his parliamentary, as a Pegawai Khas, special officer on parliamentary affairs. So I know a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I have to think about how to chart. But now I want to reveal to you one thing. I won't mention names, it's sensitive, but I did approach somebody that I want to become a leader. Okay? He's a veteran, and then I approached him. I said, sir, can you lead us? I'm willing to work. But his answer on the 17th of December was so profound that it changed my whole thinking. See, he said this, Henrinus, until when you are going to depend on my generation to provide leadership for your people? I think it's time for your generation to take responsibility. To me, that was profound. And I went back home thinking about it. You know, the problem with leadership is this. Yes, I'm capable. I think I can do it. I can organize. But do I have the money? Do I have the resources? So there are some doubts. But at the end of the day, and I can tell you that when I decided to form this party, it is purely based on faith.
But faith may not be sufficient to win an election.
No, but faith is very important, Ronney. Because my faith is like this. I believe when I form party, you don't look for the money first, because then you sell yourself. To me, what I believe is, if you believe in your struggle, go out and just do it. Because if your struggle is correct, if your struggle is acceptable, you start building up. When you sow the seeds of change, and I begin to attract small people around. It started a cell group. About 5 of us have been meeting in my house, discussing. In fact, it started even having coffee with my friends. But eventually, more and more people coming in with education, business people, in the NGOs, in church people. So I believe that if our struggle is accepted, people will come. They will help. And also, we don't believe in a political party that have a big source of money, because we refuse to be bought. If our party owe to anybody,
You become beholden to that.
yes, we don't want to owe to anybody except to the people that support us. And I told my boss, if you don't have money, walk on foot. That's why the way we organize our party, Ronney, is we don't have major events. We can't. I mean, I can't even have, appear from my office at the moment. And Ronney, you don't see us having this 7,000 people, because we don't have 30 motorcycles as Cabutan Ikit Betul. We don't have 100,000 to pay for the food, for everything. We don't have. So we ended up just organize our structure. We organize until the grassroots. I said every kampung you only need 10 people. And these 10 people, at least somebody is working, doing something. We always start with 3 people. 3 people in one constituency. Then they build up into 30 people. They build up into 300 people.
It's like a direct selling pyramid kind of method of
yes, because you said if I start with 3 people, then my 3 people have to work so hard to get 10 members each. So I have 30 members. And the 30 members have to spread to the PDM level. They must have 300 members. But before election, at least we have 3,000 volunteers. So we are talking volunteers. So we focus on our flags, we focus on our t-shirts. So you have 3,000 people with t-shirts walking around your house, sending leaflets. So we have leaflet like this. We are preparing this information. So we just send it to them. So we can't afford big gatherings. But we'll be going to your homes and delivering. And then perhaps when after Mubarak, then we can have bigger gatherings. See, we are not worried about the 11 opposition political parties. Because our concept of unity is not about political parties becoming one. Our concept of unity is we want to create awareness. And we want voters to be united in their choice. You see, there are so many opposition political parties, but which party do they really want? Which party? See, the problem with political parties, when you are neither strong, you are not active, things like that, you are about the same, people cannot make up their mind because they cannot see differentiation. That's why when Parti Anak Negeri come into existence, we have about 5 prong objective. So we want to create a differentiation. We wanted to change the dynamics of politics. So we are, you know, when I started this in 2015, I know it's going to be a marathon. So I can see political parties, I want to mention names, they come up like this so fast and then start leveling down. You know, and there are those who never change. But Parti Anak Negeri, we have to be meticulous. We have to start with an idea, we have to build. First, the leadership structure. Second, the political agenda. Third, the financial thing. Fourth, then we start organizing ourselves into divisions, into auxiliaries. Only the last one is grassroots. So grassroots means basically house to house, meeting, things like that. Now, you want to ask me or us how to win, okay? Which political party? I don't want to discount the fact that we could be working with other political parties. But what we are doing now is we are creating, we are registering our interest in various areas. I don't want to tell you, we exist in 5 parliamentary seats and 10 state seats. And it's increasing. People start coming into us. Okay? And we open ourselves to the prospect of working with other political parties. Because our decision is this: we will contest in areas where we believe we can win, but we will assist and work together with other opposition political parties, areas where they need our help.
Can we assume here that you would probably be either going in the 14G alone, or you will be teaming up with Gabungan Sabah or Barisan Sabah?
No, I don't mind telling you, Ronney, that basically our inclination is Pakatan Harapan. So we live in the overall the dichotomy between PN and PH. We are on the PH side. Okay? If, for example, when there are 50-50 situation, you know our inclination will be PH. If PH wins, we are there. But if PH lose, we don't want to talk about it because we only think about winning. But on our part here in Sabah, we need to position ourselves. So what is important, Ronney, is that we are able to disseminate information about our party, about our objective. And I haven't told you about our fight. And this is the key to our political struggle. Briefly, can I explain to you what is the fight?
Very briefly.
Yeah, very okay. Ronney, the first one that we are fighting for is we want to fight for unity, fight for our rights, and fight for our dignity of the anak negeri. Anak negeri means orang Sabah. Anak-anak yang lahir di Sabah dan Sarawak.
Would that be quite similar to what Jeffrey Kittingan and Wilfred Bumburing, or for the matter, even what Darrell Liking is doing?
Yes. Everybody talk about unity.
Yeah,
But I'd like to explain to you, this is where you see, you can find it's almost similar, but I'm reiterating to you, it's 5. Dr. Jeffrey has 15, Sam is 26. Okay? The first one is that. But, as I've told you, our unity is not political parties. It's the people need to be united. But, we are the only one, Ronney, to go and openly declare the Chinese to be anak negeri. We are the only one who openly declare that I adopt you as anak negeri. Anybody who says China balik Tongsang, we will defend the Chinese.
Do you have any Chinese leader within your party?
Of course, most of our leaders are also Chinese.
Okay.
I want first, Ronney, I want to highlight this fact. Yang Berhormat, Dr. Edwin Bossi could have opted for something else.
Any other opposition party?
Yes. You see, the normal thing is that when you are from opposition, you will jump to a government.
Barisan Nasional.
Barisan Nasional.
Yeah, like what you did.
Yes, and at least, when you jump a party to another party, you should jump from this party to a bigger party with bigger prospect. But you find that he has decided from that jump to a very small unknown party. And you have to appreciate the person why. Because based on our discussion, he evaluated our party in terms of leadership, in terms of our political struggle, in terms of our strategies. And we believe we have the winning formula. And to that, I appreciate him because it reinforced in our belief that as long as we work hard, go out there in the field, not only to the Mamogun area, but also to the Chinese surrender area, we will see how we are being received.
Okay. One final question. When we talk about current political issues in Sabah, just to keep you informed, prior to speaking to the both of you, I had already spoken to a few others in my most recent interviews. All right, and just to gauge the views, all right, because this is no secret, it's basically out publicly. Right? It's public interest, public knowledge. All right, and I would like to gather what are your views on it. All right, very short. The recent investigation by the NACC, all right, on certain issues relating to the alleged misappropriation, all right, of 1.5 billion ringgit, right, which was meant for rural development projects in Sabah. All right, now this investigation, the people under investigation are people such as the president of Parti Warisan Sabah, Datuk Sri Shafiada, Peter Anthony, Aziz Jamal, and a few others, which also includes an UMNO assemblyman from Datuk. Okay, now, what are your thoughts on that?
Now, I have commented on this, okay? But we're not going to dwell on because this is under investigation, and there is no one yet convicted of any crime.
That's right, that's right.
But as I've stated in my press release, I urge the President Warisan to go and speak and reveal what you know.
Come clean, is it?
Not only come clean, but if you know a lot of information about, remember, when these things happen, he's an UMNO leader, a very senior UMNO leader.
Right.
If you know some information about other UMNO leader or UMNO Barisan Nasional leader, please go out and tell the world what happened. Because this is a golden opportunity for him to tell the world. That's what I want to say about this.
What do you?
As I study the case, I always say that
Innocent until proven guilty.
Well, that's not the thing, but if you have nothing, the NCC will get nothing.
Right. Well, obviously, they probably do have something, but may not be sufficient. I think that was one of the reasons why they are under investigation. Whether they are going to be charged, that's another matter. Whether they have a case again, that's another matter.
But again, we have to understand that, you see, this government is actually engaging in selective persecution. They are just selecting people they want to persecute, but they are not doing to other people that the public suspects maybe has done even worse. So, in that case, this government is not being fair. So, I'm not trying to defend Warisan, but of course they have the right to defend themselves. But I'm saying this, the government, as I said in my press conference, why now? Not then. Why him? Not them. I mean, these are questions the public would like to ask. Now, at the end of the day, let the public judge for themselves. So we are just, we are a small party. We are working slowly. And if people listen to us, they think that we have a good leader, we have a good struggle, we have a good strategy, I invite them to join us. Now I would like to finish this part, very short, I promise you. Yeah. The second one, we want to fight based on Batu Sumpah. Because Batu Sumpah is a covenant about 3 things, but it's a one freedom of religion. We feel that the law of the state must comply with the Batu Sumpah. So we want to make sure that the next government will have to make sure the law complies with Batu Sumpah. It's a covenant between the government of Malaysia and the anak negeri in the interior. And we feel very serious about this. And I like this man, because when he was then dubbed leader, he has consistently raised these issues in the Dewan Undangan Negeri. And I would like him to continue to raise this issue on that one. Okay? And then the third one is about how to resolve these issues of PTI and the project IC or the fake IC. So we believe that the next government must re-register all Malaysians born in Sabah based on amendment of the local government ordinance. So we want to have a residence ID. So it doesn't conflict with the federal national IC, because this is purely a state matter to strengthen the administration of JKKK and JKDB. Okay? But there are, this is one way to filter who has true IC and a fake IC. Then the fourth one, we want to amend the land law, because there's a conspiracy now, or even some groups trying to take over NCR land. So we will amend and empower the owners of NCR land to make sure that their land is not unstolen. Okay? Then the final one, the Malaysia Agreement. There are so many talks about Malaysia Agreement, but we are a little bit different. So when we want to set up our review committee, we want a comprehensive study about the promises, assurances, guarantee, related to MA 63. And we will engage the Queen Council to advise us on constitutional law, advise us the government. Secondly, we wanted to know all the constitutional changes or the policies of the law that we've introduced. Are they consistent with the Malaysia Agreement? I want the experts to give us an opinion. Then, I want them to give us a recommendation to the state government. And the state government, now I disagree with Tengku Fuad, who says there is no need to go to the Dewan Undangan Negeri. I believe whatever is the outcome of the review committee must be brought to the Dewan Undangan Negeri, because we want to give them the force of law. Okay? Because anything that is within our right, state power, we can implement. Now, in the event that there is a conflict between state and the federal government, the Constitution provided that any conflict between state and federal must be resolved through the federal court. So the state government, not political parties, we as the new government, if there is a conflict between us and the federal government, don't quarrel. Don't threaten to leave Malaysia. No secession. Or what you do, put it to the federal court. You must trust, if you trust the law of the country, put it to the federal court. And their decision, we accept the decision.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with me this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Robin. That was the president of Parti Kerjasama Anak Negeri, Datuk Henrinus Amin, as well as Yang Berhormat Dr. Edwin Bossi, the current sitting assemblyman of the constituency of Kapaya. We wish them all the best in their endeavors in the coming 14th general election. This is Ronney Klassen signing off till I see you again. Goodbye.